Oh, yes, there is.
Well, there is a game called Ghost.
With rifles. I'm kidding. Shoot the goat. I'm kidding. I would never shoot a goat.
I lived on a farm and we shot
Only
goats.
Matthews.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did.
Why?
Because they're food, obviously.
You did not shoot a goat to eat the goat. Did you guys
They're
eat?
Go.
I'm going to launch right now.
They have goat meat. My sister
She
sells
didn't.
them at the fair.
I kill the males.
What would you do? Like, how would you, like, if you were a farmer with your cow or
I mean,
I just put it down and bury him.
and then
No, I didn't know they ate goats. I didn't.
I didn't either.
I mean, not in America. I
cows,
can see in Venezuela you're going to eat a goat.
wild boars. There's wild boars there. You just see them, shoot them, and then hang up on the tractor and let the blood flow.
Oh my. You live in third world country?
South Carolina.
All right. Guys, the first, what was it? The first, you should have done this on a separate sheet of paper, by the way. Factor by GCF, the first three. Guys, these are easy. Don't miss these. What's GCF stand for? Greatest. In other words, I want to pull the biggest thing out of all three of those things. That's my GCF. Okay, let's look at the number first. 4, 12, 16. Smallest number. Look at that. Does 4 go into 12 and 16? There's my number. Whoops. Sorry about that. There's my number GCF. So I'm going to take a 4 out. Now, they both have a Y term variable. What's the biggest lid they all have? Okay, so what am I going to take out? 4y squared. Guys, that's my GCF. I'd write it like this. And then I'm going to have 3 terms because there's 3 of them I'm taking the GCF out of. Okay? So what do I got? What's my first term? Go, Braden.
-8.
Whoa.
What?
Stepping back. First of all, where'd you get negative?
Oh, I didn't divide 2. I know.
That's not the biggest GCF. That's not the GCF. That's just a common factor.
Then
What was left in look in your parentheses. What was left? You know what I'm saying? After you took that out, right here. Look. First of all, why is it negative? The first one's not negative.
because the 4 was negative.
Yeah, but the 16's not. That's the only time you take a negative out. And then look right here. You have still 2 you can take out. All right, I'm going to take, what's left here, Mary? 4y squared. Good. That's right. Remember how you can check yourself. What's 4 times 4? 16. What's y squared times y squared? Y to the 4th. Okay? What do you think on the next one, Dorian? Middle term, what's left? Good. Bailey, what's the last term? What's left? Say it again. Guys, -1. You have to put that. -1. Done. How'd we do on that? Now, factor by grouping. I think that was what? The next group of what? Was there 2 or 3? 2 of them? 2 of them. Guys, factor by grouping. Take out the GCF there. Take out the GCF there. That's like the end step we do on the bigger problems. Okay? So, number 4. What can I take out of the first 2 terms? What's my GCF? What do you think, Jonathan? What can I take out of these 2? This is number 4.
1x squared.
Yeah, I'm not going to write the 1. I agree with you 100%. I'm just going to say x squared. Okay? So taking x squared out, what's left, Jonathan? 4 what?
4x minus 1.
Minus.
Oh, sorry, minus 6.
There you go. I like that. There you go. What can I take out of 8x minus 6, Braydon?
2.
There's your 2. There's your 2. What's left, Braden? So I'm going to put a plus 2 here, right? Because that's my GCF. Go ahead, Braden.
4x minus 6.
Minus 3?
Yeah.
Guys. And they should be the same. If you did it right. So, Alexis, what's my final answer? I think I heard those sound vibrations coming from you. We good? Is factor by grouping good? Does that make sense? Okay, guys. The next grouping all the way down is just factor, if you can. Look at 6. Guys, look at 6 through 11. What can you tell me about 6 through 11? What's the leading coefficient on all those? Say it, Mary. The leading coefficient is 1. Guys, 6 through 11. This is really important. Okay? My leading coefficient is 1. Those are the easy ones. You just figure out what you're multiplying, right? And then what they add to the middle term, then that's your answer. Okay, so look at this one.
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
go back to number 2. real quick.
Yes.
Sorry.
You're good.
So you pulled out the factor, but not the GCF. Okay,
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Thank you.
I said you pulled a common factor. I'm not the greatest common factor.
You need to pull 4 out instead of 2. Okay.
Because when you're left in the grouping of your answer, you still have a GCF in there. Look at the numbers.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And don't pull a negative out unless the leading coefficient's negative.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Where are we at? Right here. We on this one? Okay. Guys, what multiplies to 15 and adds to what? That's all I have to do on 6 through 11. That's all you have to do. Figure out the signs. Now, 1 times 15 adds up to 16. They're both the same. They're both the same sign. They're both positive. What else? What's the other factors of 15? I think that's all of them, isn't it? Now you could have some kind of negative combinations and positive combinations, obviously. 3 plus 5 is 8. Guys, there are my answers. So what do I write? There's my numbers. So what do I write, guys? Not 3x. X. Then what? X plus 5. You're done. Now, could you put x plus 5 first? Sure. Okay, now, is any through 11, do you want to go over before I pass out the answer, Key? Is there anyone that up to 11 that you want to go over that you thought was hard? You guys okay through 11? What about the rest of the page? Which ones you guys want to go over?
A lot of them left. Was it 10 and 11 blank?
Number
10?
10?
Yeah. That -1 in the middle was kind of throwing them off.
Oh, my friends. Okay. Think of it like this. Okay? So what multiplies to what, guys? Okay, I got a 1 here in front of the x squared. Life's easy. So multiply to -30. That adds to what? -1. So guys, the two numbers I multiply to 30, one's positive and one's negative. I'm going to subtract the numbers. They have to be apart by 1. That's what that means. They have to be separated by 1. So what numbers, when you multiply, forget the positive and negative right now. What two numbers, when you multiply them together, equal 30 that are separated by 1? 6 and 5. Now, here's the problem that we have to decide. Okay, they don't add to 11. One's positive, one's negative. They add to -1. So what number has to be negative?
6.
The -6 plus 5 is -1. Do you guys see that? So there's my answer. That's it. Okay, we're going to do one. Let me see this. All right, I want you guys to look at 14. I want you to look at your work. And by the way, guys, we all know that there's websites out there where you can go to and get these answers. We know it. So you're not fooling anybody by doing that. Not saying you are, but those of you that are, and I bet you there are some in here that are doing that.
Or one thing that makes me really nervous is I walk around and check. The people who just have 2 sets of parentheses, you have the final answer, but you don't have anything where you're like trying to figure out the 2 numbers. Like they multiply this and they add to this. Every time, if you want to earn partial credit, if your answer is wrong on the quiz and you want to get partial credit, all right, you need to have what the 2 numbers multiply to, and add to. Okay, and if you get to that point, I could say, oh, they're on the right track. They know how to do this. They just pick the wrong numbers. I can give them partial credit.
Right.
If you don't have any of that and you just have the parentheses, I can't really help you. All right.
And we just have to take off everything. Right? Okay. What's my first step? And we should see this over here. This is what we should see. Jonathan, wake it the heck up. Number 1, we need to see what? 4 times what? That's what we should see. Okay? What is it? Hondo. What's step 2? What we've been doing. What multiplies to 100 that adds to what? -20. So what does that tell me about my answer? They are both what? The same sign, they're both negative. So they add up to -20. So they're both going to be negative. Well, what are the factors that multiply to 100 that add to -20? What'd you guys think? What'd you put? What'd you put, Mary? Let's see. -10 times -10. I don't know why I'm writing with my finger. That adds to -20. That checks. Does -10 times -10 equal 100? Yes. I like it. Now, is that my answer? No. That to me, that's the hardest part, right? We need to replace this with -10x and -10x. So it doesn't matter. I mean, they're both the same. So this is what I write. -10x plus 25. Now, guys, as soon as we get to this point right here, it turns into problem 3 and 4. Everybody look at 3 and 4. What's it say to do? Factor by what? No, 3 and 4. Is it 3 and 4? Am I the wrong one? 4 and 5, excuse me. 4 and 5. It says factor by what? That's what we do right now. Bless you. Once we get to this point, guys, we factor by grouping. So we do just like we did. I'm going to do what? GCF there, GCF there. What's my GCF, Sabrina, in the first 2? You got to speak up. 2x. I concur. Sabrina, what's left? And 2x. I agree with that. Now, guys, you see how this first term right here is negative? That tells you I'm going to take a negative out. if my first term is when I'm pulling a GCF out. Okay? Samara, what do you think GCF for the second grouping there? What do you think? I can take a number out. What goes into 10 and 5 or 25, excuse me. Say it again. I would say that. I would say that's my GCF. Matt, what's left? So don't forget, -5.
-5 times 2x minus 5.
Whoops. Do you guys concur? Yes. If you factored right, and don't just look over here and write that again. Make sure, and they should be the same. So Liv, what's my answer? Oh. Now, could you write 2x minus 5 squared? Yeah, you could have wrote it like this, and this is fine. Now, do you guys remember the little trick we taught you? Look at the original problem. Where's it at? There she is. Okay, everybody everybody have the answer down? Okay, I'm just going to erase this right here. Does anybody remember the little trick that we told you? These are pretty big numbers, not that big. Is this a perfect square? Is that a perfect square? So you can try and do what? What's the square root of 4x squared? 2x. Guys, remember we said you could try this? What's the square root of 25? And they're both what? Now, I know 2x times 2x is 4x squared. I know -5 times -5 is positive. The only thing we got to check is what? What's 2x times -5? -10x. What's -5 times 2x? -10x. It adds up to -20. That's a shortcut. If you see that, the first and last terms are perfect squares. You can try that. Save you some work. Mr. Russell, what do you think? Pass out the answer sheet?
Yeah, and the only thing I would say to that is, if you don't recognize that and you just do it the long way, it's not gonna.
No.
If you're still uncomfortable with this, you should probably just do it the long way.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen too often. But like Mr. Parker said, if you see it, it's save you some.
Didn't do very much of it, John. Didn't do very much of it. What?
The numbers that you get, I did this wrong.
But you gotta do square root. Square root of 9 is 3. So it's 3x minus 5 times 3x plus 5. You gotta do square root of 9. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now I can say to Mr. Westfall, you dang kids in here. What's it? NBA?
Nintendo Switches.
NBA or Nintendo Switches.
It's a pretty clever system.
Hey, I wonder if they have to have a ping pong game.
Actually, they're making the
Worlds. What is that one?
I'm about ping pong, but Mario Tennis is good.
What's that? No.
Is it really?
I don't know about on the Switch, but
No, it's pretty.
back on the Nintendo 64, I was a beast at it.
Do you remember? You don't remember, guys? When they came out with video games, it was called Pong.
Oh.
It'd be like, is Jonathan okay? Dude, are you okay? I'm worried about you, man. It would just be like what? It'd be like a thing you can control, and you would just knock a bleep back and forth.
Yeah.
Have you ever played human pong? Like you get in a line and you have to go.
Oh.
I haven't either, but I've heard it's pretty fun.
What do you knock back and forth?
Kickball. Kickball would be fun.
Remember those big cloth balls they had? You probably
Oh yeah,
that
in the gym.
yeah.
All right. When you see a negative out front, what's the first thing you should do? Aliyah.
Or like put it in
Kinda. Yeah, I know what you mean. Factor it out, which makes it look like multiplication.
Mr. Westphal, did she bring the cookies in? She had another
I
week
haven't
she could've
seen
worked
any.
on it. Man, oh man.
I was gonna do it for you, and then my mom said,
You guys agree all the signs change? All the signs change. Now, we're going to treat the inside. I'm going to draw a little brace for you.
It's nice.
Thank you.
Like a mustache.
Sure. All right. What do they multiply to? The inside. We're looking for two numbers to multiply to.
2. 60. 2 and 30.
Matthew, the real good.
Yeah.
Multiply to 60 and add negative 17.
Man, how many ghosts do you have?
Only 2.
Okay, I want pictures of them tomorrow.
I think Matt used grass
Yeah, I want
and
to
used
see
to go.
photos.
All right, shh. All right, back to the focus. Pictures tonight. All right.
"Make a slideshow presentation of the goats."
All right. Now, I like the Parker method of identifying signs. Not only are we looking for two numbers, but since the last number is positive, we know they're going to be both numbers are going to be the, what about signs? Same or opposite?
Same. They're both negative.
Okay, two positives multiply to make a what?
Wait, what'd you say? 2 positives multiply make a positive.
Are you positive?
I'm positive.
Yeah.
Positive.
Two negatives multiply to make a.
Positive.
Yeah.
So the two numbers are going to have they're either both positive or both negative. They're going to have the same sign. Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good gravy. I should already know that.
Good goats.
What if this last number? Oh, but let me back up. I'm getting too far. So we know they have the same sign, and then we look to the center number, and if they're going to add to negative 17, are they both positive? No, they're both negative. Good. Let's move on. What are numbers that multiply to 60 that are both negativo? You might need to list them out. Zachary.
30 and -2.
Negative 30 and negative 2. I agree. Those multiply to 60. They add to negative 32. Not going to work for us. Let's keep going, though. I like it. You got us rolling. Alexis. Negative 12 and negative 5 multiply to 60, and they add to negative 17. Alexis, I like it. So we have got negative 1 out front. Don't forget it. Inside parentheses, we have 2x squared. We have plus 30 at the end. And what does negative 17x get broken up into? Bailey. Negative 12x minus 5x. Do you agree? And then we're going to factor by grouping like we have been forever.
Want a s'more? S'more what?
More. I've been.
All right, now, inside parentheses, what's the GCF of 2x squared and negative 12x? 2x. What's left inside? 1x minus
3 or 6.
one of those.
Negative.
6. -6.
It's put down.
All right, now look, the next one, and I think Mr. Parker put like a 2x under here. I want to be like him when I grow up. How about the next two terms? GCF, is it 5 or is it -5? Because I want this sign to be a negative so that I have a common factor left, yes? -5, and what's left inside? Well, and x minus a 6. It's beautiful.
Why is it talking like that?
Here we go. 2x minus 5 times x minus 6. You don't have to write the 1 out front, but you do have to put a negative. How are we doing on that?
So
Would you say that's one of the about as tough as they get?
It is. Yep, I agree.
We should just.
Yeah, guys. Hey, once you take that -1 out, you're done with it. Just treat it like the other ones.
How are we doing? Any other questions? Have they done these ones? They should have done it first. You guys check them? Have any questions on them?
Yep.
You good?
Guys, what I would do tonight, listen. You guys had the answers, you corrected your homework, or the practice quiz. I would do ones you had trouble with on a separate piece of paper and see if you get the right answer. If you don't, ask us again tomorrow. Guys, this practice quiz you have, the quiz is going to be just like that, just the numbers changed up some. Same type of problems. So that's what I would do tonight.
Also, I've assigned a VIM app online assignment for you to practice more of these.
I don't understand your fancy language. They have to have a Nintendo Switch.
They have to have a computer that has internet access.
My internet went out.
Then do it today in English class.
I wish.
Oh, you guys can work in
I
your
would
math
do
during
that.
English class. Go ahead.
Only if you have Mr. Bergner.
Tell him Mr. Westfall said it was good. See you guys tomorrow.
Wait, what should I tell him?
Mr. Bergner?
Yeah.
Tell him you've learned enough English that you'll ever use in life,